Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here in Melbourne on a Monday night. And of course, let's go up to our friends up in Sydney. Of course, we're heading to the AFL Sydney Premier competition up there in the women's side of things. And of course, been with the UTS Bats women's football team. And of course, their season started about a month and a half ago now. And of course, we'll see how they're travelling now up to this point. We've got two very special guests joining us right now. The co-captains of the team to tell us a bit about the season so far. Thanks both for joining us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No worries. Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and what position both of you play on the field.
All right, well, I'm Caitlin. I play centre-half forward. Currently injured, but I'm making a return in the next few weeks, so that'll be good.
And I'm Jules. I play on the wing and not injured, hopefully, for the season. But yeah, waking up very sore every Sunday morning, that's for sure.
Before I start any of the questions I'm going to ask both of you, so Caitlin, you said that you're out injured at the moment. What did you exactly do and when did you do it?
I did it in our very first trial match some 12 weeks ago. I fractured my tibia because I hyperextended my knee. So I haven't played a game of football this season and it's killing me, but I'm very, very close to the return.
It's coming back in hot.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about the team's game on the weekend.
On the weekend, we actually had a bye, which was pretty sweet. But the previous week we came up against the top of the table team, and it was a pretty tough match out there. And I think some key learnings came out of it for a lot of the team. It was our first loss of the season, so we're a bit heartbroken on that front, but it is the losses that make the wins on the other side a lot greater and the lessons learned. So yeah. You asked us about the wrong game.
Yeah.
I know.
We had a 6-game winning streak up until then. So
what did you learn from losing to the top team? Am I assuming that top team is East Coast Eagles by any chances? Who are the defending champs?
Yeah, that's right.
What did you learn from that game?
I think it was a bit of a reality check that we needed. And key learnings were, the first thing was we've got to play to our game and keep our structures. And when tactics from the other team adjust to that, then we also have to lift and adjust. And using both sides of the field as part of that, because it was played a lot down one side. Yeah, that was probably a big one for me. What about for you, Katie?
Yeah, I think it showed us where we were at in the season, but in a good way. It shows what more we can do to get to that standard, because obviously they are, the pinnacle of our competition. So it's good to compare ourselves, see where we're at. And then because we are coming into that second half of the season, things get critical now. So yeah, it was kind of good timing and a good show. And obviously the girls, can learn from all of that, which is good.
Second half of the season, pretenders versus contenders. We'll see where we are.
That's right.
I know where we are.
We're now turn around to the back half of the season now. You're currently in a pretty good position, entrenched in the top 3 at this stage. Is this sort of where you wanted to be? I guess a lot of people, considering where you were placed last season compared to this year, I guess I'm assuming you're not surprised where you are, but are you trying to silence the critics in the competition that you can match it with the best?
Yeah, absolutely. We set a goal for ourselves at the beginning of the season to play finals footy and to have a good crack in, to make the grand final. So we're definitely on track to do that from now, which is really exciting.
Just what Katie said.
What's the preparations like for this upcoming game on the weekend?
Well, we train Tuesday, Thursdays.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but it'll be we had a really good session last Thursday where we kind of jumped into match sim pretty early because our ones girls were playing and it was focused around setting them up for success on the weekend, and they had a massive win on the weekend, 90 to a low scoring number, but big win. And one thing that we're getting better at each week is just really starting the first quarter strong. So doing the match sim at training has been super helpful. But yeah, in terms of setting ourselves up for success, it's working on our contested footy. And it's just reinforcing around the club that we've all got the same goal. We're all working towards the same thing. Katie was in a really good session last week where we basically had like a mid-season review and laid out what we need to do to get where we want to be at the end of the season. And yeah, I think just the open feedback culture is what's setting us up for success.
So, Katie, considering you've been out for virtually the whole year so far up to this point, how painful is it for you to watch from the sidelines? And was there any point in the during the season that you were just like, maybe I can, try to convince my coach to put me in?
Every week. It is single-handedly the hardest thing, but I know, and all the girls know how much it means to me. But everyone has sort of like kept me in check in saying like, don't come back early because it's not worth it. So, yes, I want to play really badly, but I know that I'm more beneficial to my team later on in the season when I'm not injured. I did get to be the runner for the first time in our game against East Coast because I'd been cleared to run. So that was good. I felt very involved, but being on the sideline is really hard. But I think I've sort of taken up a bit of a, not coaching role because I'm not a coach, but because I'm in the forward line, I spend a lot of time with the forward. So I've tried to be a bit more involved that way. So yeah, but it's certainly been tough, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think on the topic of like Katie and other injured players being on the sideline, in the example of Katie, like it's kind of crazy to think you haven't played a game because it feels like you're part of the team every week. And that's because she's showing up and like doing what she does best, which is like give the girls the advice they need, get around the girls, and yeah, just smile on your face every week makes everyone just ready to go out there and get it. So and I think that's kind of, you're like the epitome of club culture there when everyone who's injured like replicates it. And I think it is, and you will testify to it, a good way to get through an injury as well. So it goes both ways. But I know how hard it is to be on the sidelines, and you're honestly a star for doing it the way, like, inspiring.
Thanks, Jules.
No, good. Let's just pump up each other's fires the whole session.
Yeah, that's right.
Julia, I need to ask you this, and being the co-captain of the team, obviously with your, obviously with Katie being, on the sidelines, has she given you some words of wisdom?
Oh yeah, she's full of words of wisdom. I feel like I'm just waiting for Katie to get back on the field so I can take the back seat. But yeah, no, we have a pretty strong group of like leadership group. There's Katie and I are co-captains, and then we've got Alicia Houlihan, Danica Spammer, Gabby Stanwicks, and Melissa Lindsay as part of our wider leadership group. And we often use our chat just as a channel to be like, what can we improve at training? Like, how do we attack game day? Like, that's a really big one, because we've been trying to put in small things like getting girls to put on their jerseys before we warm up, or having just like putting things into the warm up to get us to switch on early. Yeah, which has been really good, and we'll continue to throw those things in.
Yeah, we really all lean on each other, which is nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a big team effort.
So how did both of you get involved in footy, and why did you choose it?
I feel like your story is way better. I played heaps of sports growing up, like netball and touch footy, but it wasn't until 2018 that I got into AFL. I had a whole bunch of friends who I grew up playing touch football for saying that they were going to start an AFL women's team at the Parramatta Goannas. So it was going to be their first ever female side. And I said, what a better chance than to start playing now. So I was like 20, 21 at the time. So, obviously I hadn't played AFL at all. My brother played for a little bit, but we're a big like rugby league family. So it was all new. I was playing like with some of my best mates. Miggs was the coach of that team too. He's now our coach at the Bats. We won the premiership that year, Div 2 women.
Yes.
Very, very good. It was awesome actually. And I've just loved it ever since. At the Goannas, we went on to win another premiership in Div 1 in the COVID season in 2020. And then moved over to the Bats in 2021 to play Premier League. And never look back. This club is just awesome. So, and I love AFL. All the girls get around it. Like, it's even got me watching it on TV because I just love it so much. So I'm a big AFL convert, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think my story is similar to Katie's. I also played touch footy for a long time and soccer, and basically 2018 was my first year as well. And I'm a big Richmond fan, which I didn't mention earlier when you were talking about your losing team, because my team's losing even more. But I in 2017, my brother and I just made a bet that if Richmond went all the way, we would start the next year playing footy together. And he also had to give himself like the dusty haircut, which was before everyone was getting mullets. So it was actually pretty outrageous. But yeah, so as we know, that came into fruition on a sunny Saturday afternoon in September 2017.
Yes.
But where my story differs from Katie's is that my first 3 years of footy, we were not winning games. We were nowhere near finals. I joined up with the Bats in 2018, and I was playing with a really tough group of girls, and I learned so much from them. And we had a mass exodus of players from the club around 2020. So did mass recruitment, including Katie, to get the club to rebuild. And now we've rebuilt and we're here.
Yeah. Now, I'm so glad I've got someone who's won a premiership at Parramatta Goannas, because I've been trying to get them on the show for the last 3 or 4 years when they've won a premiership. So, Kay, I'm going to ask you this question. Which of the premierships mean more to you? And did you kiss the premiership cup in any of those 2 years?
Does drinking from it count as kissing it? Because then, yes. This is probably controversial, but I think my favourite one is the very first one that we won in Division 2. And mostly because it was just with some of my best friends that have grown up with. And similarly, those girls were still playing in Div 1. Would you believe that I actually didn't play the grand final because I was injured? But but if that's anything to go off, we're going to win this season if you just base it off going off that injury, because it was my same knee, same way, but because it was that stupid COVID season, I didn't get to finish it. But again, it's such a good feeling to win a grand final and to play with your best friends, and that's why I'm so looking forward to the end of this season. But definitely that first win. But no, I didn't kiss the trophy. We may have accidentally broken it, but I don't know if that's a secret. I'm pretty sure it got given back in full, so it's fine.
All right. We'll hold you to that in regard to the Bats win it this year. So we'll hold you to that. Now, you mentioned that you also played the world game of football when I meant soccer. How much did that help you transition into AFL?
I think at first I didn't realize it being as super valuable, because what I was finding initially was that I would always want to get into space when I had to put on a shepherd or when I just had to go get the ball. But I think that was largely because the team, like where we were at in terms of playing together is not the level that we are at now. And I'm actually finding it more useful now that we feel like we have a little bit more space when we play because we've got better structure. So I can be like an outlet handball and I can be in space.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember at the start finding it really hard because I was just not touching the ball or like not putting on the shepherds when I should have been, or the blocks because I just thought I had to be in space. But it is really funny because after you play AFL for a while, you go back to other sports like netball, and then you're putting on shepherds 24/7, and you're getting just stung by the umpire because it's the transmission like things come over. So I remember I played like a fair bit of netball after a few seasons of AFL, and I would just get in trouble all the time for it. And touch football, I think also. There were a couple of sessions because I played both in parallel for the first few years of AFL that I'd put a tackle on instead of doing a touch. Like it's the early sessions. I'm also notorious for tackling people on my own team, as anyone at training can testify to. I've been fined for it many times. So yeah, I just sometimes can't switch that one off.
Okay. We'll get to the fine system a little bit later. I have to ask both of you. Obviously, we established which position Katie plays, which is down in the forward line. So, Julie, tell us what position you play on the field. And for both of you, if you had a dream position, we'd love to convince your coaches to put you, where would that be? Be honest.
I play on the wing. And
Jules would love to be in the forwards.
I would love to for it. I keep every week asking Migs, and he's like, "Sorry, hon, you're not at the top of our list for that." But yeah, no, definitely would love Katie Mack's position, but she's not giving it up anytime soon.
I sometimes wish I could play full forward, but I think I would really like to go in the backs if I had to.
How's
like
your spoil?
Yeah, surely pretty good. I'm backing myself.
I back you.
But yeah.
Now, prior to your injury, Katie, have you ever took a hanger?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a couple.
What's the best one, Katie?
I don't know. I feel like I play so high up as a centre half forward, so I like to get our backline to kick it to me sometimes, and I've taken some pretty good screamers on the boundary before.
But Katie's biggest stat in the forward line is tackles inside 50, which gets her goals.
Yeah, I love a cheeky tackle and then kick, and then just get a free kick in front of the goal.
Okay, so consider both your tackle a fair bit by the sounds of that. What's the best tackle that you ever done?
Oh, Jules, you've made some good tackles.
Yeah, but the best, I don't know.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, I had one on a good one on. There was a ex-Carlton player that was playing for Sydney Uni last year. I remember I stung her pretty good. She got a hospital pass into me, but it still felt good. And a good one on Sarah from UNSW / Goannas now.
Oh yeah, you did too.
Yeah, those are my two. Those ones feel good when you know that they're solid.
I put a shepherd on her in one of our games last year so that Mel Adams could score a goal. I definitely think I came off second best, but I still got the goal assist. I'm going to count it as.
Yeah, 100%.
Block. So yeah, I'm going to say that one.
So what does the sport of footy mean to both of you, especially being at UTS Spats?
Oh, it's like our whole lives. Never stop thinking about it. It's so, I think about footy more than work.
Yeah, it's such a good environment. The whole club, all the girls, everyone's so just like inviting and wanting to help. And I look forward to going to every training and every game. I know the girls feel like that as well. Our men's are really supportive, just as a whole club, like from the top down. everyone just wants to see the whole club succeed, and that's the best part about it. The coaches care so much, the girls care so much. Yeah, that's what I love about it. And AFL as a sport as a whole is like that. Like the whole community is great, no matter what club you go to. Like I coach at a junior club, and they're all amazing. So it's just I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love
And I
it.
think in Sydney as well, just in the last 5 years since we started, it's just really exploded. And I mean, the AFL is always, I've found, compared to other sports, actually, compared to sports we've both played, Katie, it's run as such a tight ship compared to them. And everything's really well integrated from like at grassroots through to senior footy through to AFL level. So yeah, it's just an awesome sport to play. Yeah. Katie, who's your AFL team if you're converted now? Who are you watching? Boys and girls.
So obviously for the women, I'm a massive Giants fan. Shout out
Love it.
to some of our good friends that play for the Giants.
Uh-huh.
And then for the men, like I like watching GWS and the Swans, but can I just say I have a real soft spot for the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because they've come so close.
Yeah.
We shouldn't feel they won a lot of flags at the start of the century. But yeah, they I do too. I love Chris Fagan. Like their coach.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if Richmond stole them now that Dimmer's gone. He can finally get his flag with Richmond. Okay, it's ambitious.
What have both you learnt from each other on and off the field?
Come on, Katie, what have you learned from me?
Just to run and run and run. That's what Jules is good at. No, I think what I take from Jules, and this is like week in, week out, just the determination. Like Jules sends these messages each week in the group chat that everyone gets around. They're just straight fire, just pumping everyone up. But like you just never give up, Jules, and that's something everyone can take from our team on and off the field. She's also super smart, and I wish I could be half as smart. So
not footy brain though. And you are twice as smart. Let's pump each other's tires up more. But from Katie, Katie's just like a true natural born leader, and you can tell when you need to be serious, you know how to be serious and bring the girls into line, which is the most valuable thing that you can bring as a leader to the team. Mel Lindsay does it really well as well.
Yeah.
And on the field, you're so smart in that forward line. So what I've learned from her is like, I see the way Katie positions herself because she's not the tallest centre half forward, but she wins those contested marks. So it's like playing smart and playing hungry and hard. And that's why she gets those tackles inside 50 to get the goals where it counts.
What would be your advice to people that should get involved in footy, especially heading down to UTS?
Yeah,
don't think twice.
Yeah. This is such a good question too. And I think this could happen at any AFL club, but especially the Bats. Just come down. Just come down to training. We've got teams that suits anyone's ability. Everyone is like so welcoming, and footy itself is just the place to be. Like it truly is. Especially coming from it so late like we did. You can just see how good it is and how welcoming it is. So just go down and try it. If you don't want to do this season, wait till next season when it's summer and you can go down to pre-season when it's warm. Get involved that way. But otherwise, just come down to training. We've had a couple girls just come the last few weeks, have been sliding up our team. So yeah.
If you want to start now, start now. You don't have to wait.
Yeah.
If you do want to wait for pre-season, it starts early too. It starts in around November. So don't wait for the new year. Just come down at the end of the year.
That's right. It's super social too. Super fun. We had our ladies' day a couple of weeks ago, which is the biggest day of the year. It's a massive
which Katie
event.
Mack basically organises every year as well as playing all her footy.
Yeah, I also do the social events for the club, so big push for that. But yeah, it's so fun.
We'll finish off with a couple of lighthearted questions about your teammates. Firstly, who's the comedian, the best singer, and into their TikTok/Be Real?
Comedian.
Who's the funniest person on the team?
I reckon Gav Stanwicks reckons she's pretty funny.
Yeah, she definitely reckons she's pretty
She
funny.
reckons she's funny. Do we have a best singer? Can anyone sing? I don't know.
Mate, after the games in those change rooms, I don't think anyone's keeping tone in our team song or
No.
keeping pitch.
I think Reedy can sing.
Oh,
But,
really?
our under 19s, actually the boys, they have a band. A few of them are in a band.
Oh,
And
true.
they played at Ladies' Day and it went off. They were a cover band. There was a little dance floor. It was pretty wild. And the young ones would have TikToks, wouldn't they? I reckon Ruby Reid has a TikTok account.
I bet. Actually, Ruby Reid's my comedian. She makes me laugh so much.
Yeah, she's funny. She's a
She
little
broke my finger
16-year-old.
too.
Yeah, she did. So watch this space for her. She's going places.
Yeah, she'll be gone.
Who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this season, and what was it?
I'm trying to think if I've tackled my teammates on the field, but I don't think I've done that. I've definitely gone to high five the opposition at one stage. Oh, I know Charlotte always, like, whenever we're playing, like in the early games, she came from Pennant Hill, so she'd be like, "Go Penno" during the games, and we'd be like, "Come on, you gotta reel it in."
I think Mel Lindsay hand passed the ball into Taylor Kenobi's head, didn't she?
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure that happened. That's probably the funniest thing that's happened. That was funny. That was against Penno too. That's my funny moment.
So what happened when that started to happen? Did you try to say to her what team she was actually playing for?
Oh, for Charlotte, we just find her like
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she hasn't done it in the last few rounds, so I reckon we could be in the clear.
Oh dear. Okay, talk about fines. I was going to get back to this one. So who's copped the most fines so far this season, and what was the strangest fine that anyone's copped?
Oh, I know this. Sharpie, who's one of the girls in our one side, has given us. She's got 2 head knocks this season, and I think she might have even had stitches from one, or a black eye definitely from one of them. Neither of them have been on the footy field. Both have been on nights out after footy. And I'm just like, how? So yeah, that's definitely the strangest for me.
That's funny. We didn't have one this season, but last season has to take the cake, like, on everything. A girl in our team, Gab, sent Miguel a picture of her bedroom and was asked about like the styling, but she actually meant to send it to her mum instead of Miguel. And he was like, "I like your room, I guess."
Thought it wasn't for him. Like, I think he genuinely was like, "Oh, okay, I'll respond to this as if it's like, oh wow."
Being super supportive.
Love it.
So
Oh dear.
that will forever be my favorite thing. Jules is also notorious for leaving her jackets at training, so Jules racks up the fines for that.
Yeah, I probably had the most. Yeah, I can't keep track of
most consistent for leaving jumper.
At least I'm consistent.
So how's that tracking? Have you forgot your jumper after train this year?
Oh yeah, like half the sessions. Last week, Anya rode back to training on her bike to tell me I was about to forget my jumper, and I ran onto the field to get it. I was like, "Thank you. This is what friends are for. That's what it's all about. Just testing my friendships left, right, and center."
That's what we're about.
Yeah.
Any pop-up songs?
My favorite song. Yeah, my favorite song always is that one from Project X. My biggest pump-up one. The one by Kid Cudi. Great song.
Uh-huh.
But we're such a typical women's team. Like, we just play, like, typical, like, just female pump-up songs, I feel like, don't we?
Yeah. A lot of Miley.
Yeah.
Love a bit of Miley.
We actually do a thing where one person's responsible for the music each round, which I think is really good. So
Yeah.
sometimes
Shares
it
the
shows
love.
people's true colours.
Talking about, we mentioned about pre-game songs a moment ago. So who's the responsible one for the speakers?
Ruben, one of our coaches, he's got a massive boom that he brings every week. Like, just wouldn't be Ruben without that big speaker.
Yep.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
No, but I always wear the same thing, which will be my playing shorts, my socks, joggers so that I can kick before the game, my polo and a hoodie, and then I'll take my polo off to put on the training singlet for warm-up. I haven't put the jersey on this season, so I don't know how I'm going to go with that change up, but it'll be fine. And yeah, I always wear the same sports bra.
Yeah, I'm the same as you on that, Katie.
Have to.
You just know the one that's good.
That's right. It has to be the best.
Yeah. I like watching footy, like just watching the footy the night before, because I feel like it always gets me really pumped up. And then in the morning, I try and play it on, like I play it on TV, the game from the night before, just to like hear the sounds. I think that helps. Sometimes I watch Dusty highlights.
Oh yeah, nice.
You had to drop that Richmond reference, didn't you? So who has the best nickname in the team?
No one really has nicknames.
I like Winks.
Yeah, Winks is good. Gab Stanwyck, she gets called Winks or Winksy. One girl's name is Beth Martini, and we love that her last name's Martini. So that's a vibe.
Yeah, no, that's
okay.
those are the ones.
Yeah. We need to come up with better nicknames, clearly.
I know.
Okay. We might come back to that later on the years. Oh.
No, I've got it. We call Alicia Batleisha because
yeah, of course.
she has multiple pictures where she's putting her arms up to shepherd, and we put bat wings on her. So it's definitely Batleisha. That's the
definitely
best
Batleisha.
Yeah. I have to apologize for not thinking of it straight away.
I was going to say, I was going to come back to that a little bit later on the season when we have both you back on and see how we go with the nickname side of things. But lucky you saved yourself on that one. So, and the second part of that question is, I have to ask, we mentioned about pre-game superstition or ritual. Has anyone on the team have a really strange pre-game superstition?
I know people definitely have superstitions on the team, but I can't like pinpoint any super strange ones.
No.
Maybe we don't know our teammate.
Gab Stanwyck has to tan on the Thursday.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Gab has to fake tan.
Of course,
and tell us all about it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's the one. How do we not get that straight away?
This actually should have just been the Gab Stanwyck's call. Because
I know. She got a lot of shout outs.
I was going to say. But, well, both of you, thank you so much for giving up some of your time to join us tonight. Fantastic start to the season. Obviously, we're halfway through. You're currently in a pretty good state to make at least a top two, hopefully top spot. Hopefully, you can knock out the Eagles a bit later on in the season to hopefully snatch top spot back. And looking forward to coming up to Sydney in the next couple of months to hopefully get to watch your team in action playing for the big one, hopefully in about August, September.
Yeah, awesome. Would love to see you there, Will.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks for having us. And shout out to everyone, all the girls listening who want to join, come across to the Bats.
Absolutely.
It's the only club you want to come to. Even if you're from Melbourne, move over.
Agree. And that's Katie and Julie there, join us from the UTS Bats women's football team. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can get involved with the Bats in 2023. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away. Here on the 10th year celebration.